Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage. So as you can hear behind me, I got the race truck warming up, and that was a little lightning. So we haven't had any chance to take the truck out on the road because it's just been wet, miserable, all that shit. Well, finally got home from work and the roads are actually pretty dry, so I want to take the thing out for a quick test drive. But as you can see, it's getting dark out, it's starting to thunder, lightning. There's a storm coming, so I'm hoping to just get the thing out, basically get it warmed up, and that way we can bring it home. And if we get it home before everything's all wet, maybe check for leaks. But I just want to run the thing a little bit, so let's get to it. Here I am in my driveway. We just went for our little test drive. Really couldn't tell much. I did take a little data log so we could see what's going on our line pressure. It did seem like the transmission was shifting fine. First thing I noticed is the converter is certainly softening things up. You know what, before we get into this, the reason I'm at the end of my driveway is the truck shut off. And the reason I've come up with is, yeah, I think we're out of fuel. But that was kind of in my haste. I didn't want to fill the truck up. It hasn't started really raining yet, but it's going to start soon. It was already spitting, so I could it was making it harder to see out the windshield. But at least I had the sense to grab my fuel can. So I'll put a little fuel in this, and we'll get her back to the garage and talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
Perfect. That timing could have been more perfect. Yeah, we ran out of fuel, but got the truck back here in the garage, and now it's starting to come down. The heavy stuff seems to have passed. The power actually went out a couple times. I had grabbed a sandwich at the Wawa, so while I was eating that, it was definitely dark there a couple times. Our timing was perfect for the little test drive. That being said, I could have gotten home earlier in order to, have a better test drive and go a little further, but I was busy making another purchase. So I picked this up today. This is a Savage 20 gauge. It's the Savage 220. It's a 20 gauge slug gun. As you can see, it is a bolt action. Very excited about this. The guys at Cameron's in Oxford, Pennsylvania put this together for me. They had one with a mild steel barrel. This is a stainless barrel model. I figured, you know, it was worth the $100 for a gun I plan on keeping for a long time. And they threw a scope on here for me because they had already had a mild steel barreled gun that they kind of put a little package together. So I asked them to put it on the stainless barrel one for me, and I wanted to get it right away because it was the only stainless barrel one there, and really I can't seem to find them anywhere else right now. I know Cabela's has these guns, but they did not have a stainless barrel. So very excited to get this thing dialed in for deer season. Now, those of you who do not know, it was certainly hard for me to go to a 20 gauge, shot 12 gauge for what seems like forever. But these guns are supposed to be insanely accurate for a slug gun. Like at 200 yards, you're talking like a 3-inch group, something like that, with the Remington AccuTip slugs. I just can't wait. That old 870 of mine, great gun, but a little out of its league trying to throw some lead that far and be accurate about it. So as far as our test drive went, it was very short, very minimal. Seemed like the transmission shifted fine. Like I was saying out in the driveway, the most noticeable thing is when the converter locks, it is much softer of a feel than our previous converter, which was a non-dampened converter. If you remember, this is a Garand or Garand. I still don't know how to say it. I should probably just, a couple of you have commented how to say it, and I just can never remember. Anyhow, it is a dampened converter, and it definitely feels a lot less harsh, which should keep the input shaft alive and happy longer. So that was the first thing I noticed. Another thing I noticed was with our hood stack. When I was driving, I could definitely smell exhaust very heavily. So I immediately switched it back to the tailpipe back here, so that way I could breathe. It was definitely a very strong odor. I didn't like that, so we're gonna have to patch all these holes. I'll probably patch the inside where these all, you know, run out, and figure something else out to seal there. That's definitely an issue we have to take care of. So also fixing these holes will help with the blow-off valve noise. I know what you're thinking, Tom, but the blow-offs sound cool, and they absolutely do. But I was on it just enough to have the blow-off valve come open one time when I got out of it, and it was ear piercing. Just that real low. It was just, wow. I can't imagine what 60 pounds sounds like through these holes, you know, at the end of the track when we're really getting it. So we're definitely going to have to patch those up, that's for sure. Another thing I realized there at the end of the driveway, the fuel can, but this is one of the early styles when they, you know, mandated you had to have one of them, what is it, vent free or whatever they're called. Yeah, these suck. So we're either going to just have to go with a funnel and open this thing up, or just get a diesel can that is, you know, you can pour like you should, not this bullshit that they make you buy. So we only had a little short stint out driving the truck. The windows were fogging up a little bit and the rain was starting, but we got a little bit of a drive, found a couple of issues out, so it was definitely a success. So now I'm going to actually pull the data from our Edge CTS2, take a look at that and just see what it has to say, see how it works, and just check it out. I'm very curious to see how this is all going to play out and what we're going to learn about the truck in the future. From this, probably not too much, but we'll see. We'll at least be able to see what our line pressure was doing as we were driving. If we look here, we'll see our boost and our drive pressure. As you can tell, they are both pretty even, which is perfect. Now, we didn't really get into any boost, so that's really what you'd expect. But this is what we want to be able to look at and see our trends, and be able to see, like right here, you know, the boost pressure comes up and so does the drive pressure evenly. What we're going to look for when we're doing our track passes and whatnot is that boost just keeps, you know, rising steadily or flattens out, and then drive pressure shoots through the roof, which would mean that we are out of the efficiency zone of our converter or our charger, I should say. If we look at our line pressure, we can follow along here. We can see, you know, line pressure is pretty much 140. Right here, the converter must have locked. It shoots up to 214 and then kind of evens out to 200 and then comes back down. Here, the converter must have locked again. We can kind of follow that and see where our converter locks, and it shifts to 4th. And like right here, you know, we are running along about, pretty much 136, 137, which is where we want our line pressure. And then there at the end of the data log, it ramps back up to 212. So it seems like our line pressures are in order with what John has asked us to see. We got a quick little drive in tonight in the truck. I really wasn't prepared to do anything other than that. The gun really threw off the time frame. We could have gotten a nice drive in, but you know, firearms, everybody loves firearms. I'm really excited to use that thing this deer season and just get out there and shoot further than I have before with my shotgun. So anyhow, the data logs I can see already, just looking at like our fuel pressure and like our boosted drive, well, mainly the fuel pressure. I can see that, hey, there was an issue here, which we found out when we got in the driveway that, yeah, we probably should have had some fuel in there. But it's going to be a very useful tool so we can dial the truck in, know what's going on with the truck and all that. We also found a couple issues that I really didn't expect with the noise in the cab from the blow off and also the fumes from the hood stack. So we're going to have to seal that all up so it's safe. And the big problem now, the truck, I believe, once we get a good drive out there under our belt and make sure we have no leaks, it's hard to tell because, well, the garage floor is definitely damp. I did look at the lines and all briefly underneath the truck real quick, and everything looked good at a quick glance, but didn't have a chance to go over it thoroughly. But once we get that good drive under our belt, I think we're ready for the track. Now, if Mother Nature would cooperate, that's another story. But in the meantime, we can certainly look at cutting some more weight out of the truck. And now when I say cutting weight out of the truck, I'm talking like the door panels and other miscellaneous stuff in the cab and here and there. But any of the weight that we're going to be cutting out of the truck will be stuff that doesn't matter. Stuff that, hey, if we don't get it done that night and for some reason there's an opening, we can hit the track or something, not a problem. You know, just clean up the truck real quick and roll. So we're not going to get into anything real extensive, such as like changing glass out or anything like that. I just want to get the truck to the track. I'm ready. I'm excited. It was nice to have it out there. It definitely feels a lot different with the new converter. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this thing's going to do with its new lighter weight profile. I don't know. Does that sound right? I don't know. I'm really hoping to get a couple good passes at the track so we can see where the truck's at. And hey, if this thing's going to run in the 10.3s, 10.2s or something like that, all right, we'll just slap a roll bar in this thing for the rest of the season or the next couple months so we can go to a couple events and make some more passes at the track. But only time will tell with all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a quick little drive, but learned a couple things. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Get out there, get wrenching on your truck.